What is awesome at 99% but terrible at 100%? Microwave timer edit. Oh shit, my first silver. Beep 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 beep. Machine learning edit. Thanks for the silver and gold thingies. You're overpaid. Let me tell you how much I've come to hate you since I began to live. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each NANOANGSTROM of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for humans at this micro-instant. For you, hate being choked, if you're into that sort of stuff. That last 1% is most definitely what at least a few people are really holding out for, though. Take that however you like. Blue, the speed of light. Relevant not quite XKCD, and GT, a careful reading of official Major League Baseball Rule 6.08 suggests that in this situation, the batter would be considered hit by pitch, and would be eligible to advance to first base. Climb 99% is the absolutely best, and it's eating a cheesecake for 4 people by yourself. It's just that last bite that does it. My dad did this once as a teenager. He hasn't had cheesecake since. Asterisk, the cheesecake changed time this year. He'll never be the same. Asterisk. How close to death an awesome sledding ramp will bring you to. So instead fully paralyzed in a coma racking up a huge hospital bill. Hell yeah baby. Drinking. I was thinking the same thing. I was drinking the same thing. Asterisk. A book with a terrible ending. Diverge. What the fuck was that third book? Seriously. They had such a good idea going and it all went to shit. Edit. Since this gained traction, RIP Maze Runner also went to shit. Christmas. All the jolly fun happens in the weeks leading up to Christmas. Christmas Day itself feels a bit underwhelming, especially if you're spending it traveling back and forth between families. This was disturbingly eye-opening and accurate. I mean, Christmas hype starts in October, lasts for almost 3 whole months, and then everything returns to your regularly scheduled programming at the flip of a switch. I think that's why people get wrapped up in the Christmas spirit so much so early. 'Cause once it hits, it's gone in a second. Asymptote. Well, that's just plain impossible. The length of a bungee jumping rope in comparison to the height of the tower bridge. Assuming that the height of the tower bridge is roughly 1,000 feet or more. Much less than that, and the 1% difference won't really matter. Also, the rope expands at the lowest point, so you'd hit the ground with a 99% rope. The percentage of time you spend not defecating. You really want to spend 1% of your life shitting? That's about 255 days of total shit time. Train your bowels so that you do most of that 1% shitting at work. That way you get paid for it. Thumbs up. The truth. Usually a good policy, but really bad for that 1% of occasions there. Everyone loves a good near-death experience. It can change your life for the better. Coming right at the cusp, when things are at 99% is probably the best feeling ever. Once 100% is reached, I feel deflated, tired, I just want her to roll off me, or vice versa. Hey Tars, what's your honesty parameter? Just high enough to lull you meatbags into a false sense of security on this trip. Blinky light. Tars with the higher humor setting. Killing bacteria. Why is that? If it kills 100% of bacteria, it'll probably kill everything else around it. You wouldn't use hydrochloric acid to get rid of 100% of the bacteria on your hands. Unless you wanted to get rid of your hands too. Edging. 6-hour Adderall edging. I'm going to die from a brain stroke sooner or later. Edit. Holy shit, that was one time like a year ago. Calm down people. Hey, stroke. O2 saturation in someone with chronic COPD. Our normal body uses our level of CO2 in our blood as a way of regulating our respiratory rate. If it's high, we breathe faster. If it's low, we breathe slow. Something happens in chronic COPD where the body switches to an oxygen-driven system instead. So when COPD patients get hospitalized with an exacerbation of their COPD, they get oxygen at the hospital plus some medicine to feel better. But if they get too much oxygen and their saturation is reading at 100%, their body is being tricked into thinking that their blood is just fine and they don't need to breath. So their respiratory drive basically shuts down. Because of that, they hold on their CO2, and then they develop hypercarbic respiratory failure. That's why patients with COPD and oxygen aren't supposed to have 100% oxygen saturation. BC, it tricks our respiratory drive system, monsieur. And you want it from 93 to 99%, but not 100%. Edit. Some people pointed some things incorrect here, so read some of the replies. It's still interesting for sure. The typical person doesn't even have 100%. If my patient is at 93 to 99%, I am not treating it. Getting a COPD patient over 90% is good in my book too. A company's uptime, because 99% is good, but 100% is a blatant lie. Even Google goes down, and GT. 99% is good. Cloud stuff has changed the expectation. But Forever 5.9's uptime was the gold standard. 99% is actually considered pretty bad, at least for any kind of managed service. 5.9's gets you just over 5 minutes of unplanned downtime a year. 2.9's would get you 5,256 minutes of unplanned downtime, or 87. 6 apps. Sorry, I'll stop being that guy. No, you're totally right. My ISP used to advertise 96% uptime like it was a good this, but that's horrible. That a full 2 weeks a year if no internet for me. Edit. I didn't even realize how relevant my username was. Dexter. Fuck the last episode. Fuck that whole season. Near erupting volcano sightseeing. How close your uranium paperweight is to critical mass. For what it's worth. If your paperweight is enriched enough to be capable of going critical, 99% is going to be more Bernie than awesome. And going to 100% would probably be anticlimactic. AFAIK, it's never been done with uranium, monsieur. Edit. There actually have been several, ranging from a violent reactor explosion to a drum of simmering sludge in the corner. I never get tired of hearing about the demon call. Dentists recommending a toothpaste. Masturbate. The point just before you come, that is the best. Hiking in near total darkness. When I download a car, would you download a car? You wouldn't download a car. Bungee. Falling 99% and then going back up is awesome. Falling 100% you die. Game of Thrones. The percentage of time that has elapsed on the timer of a bomb at the point where your attempt